Welcome back, everyone. LanceScurvX here, the Scurv podcast. This obviously is a continuation of not actually Floyd Mayweather, the one I did the other day, but how people try to pretend that they're rich when they're poor. Now, Floyd Mayweather was poor growing up. His mother was on crack. His father was a pretty good boxer who fought Sugar Ray Leonard back in the 70s. But he ended up going to prison. So, he grew up poor. He had a lot of scars, emotional scars, and a lot of things to prove. This is a continuation on that particular premise, but not really about Floyd Mayweather like the other video was done. I titled this, Why Do Poor People Love Looking Rich? Well, eventually Floyd Mayweather got rich, but he kept going with it because of his scars. And the rest of the title is The Dangerous Cost of Trying to Impress People, right? So let's roll with it. There's a painful truth that many people do not want to face. Some of the people who look the richest are drowning in debt, stress, pressure, and financial fear. They wear the labels. They drive the luxury cars. They carry themselves like success stories. But behind closed doors, many are one emergency away from disaster. And in far too many cases, our people have been taught to celebrate the appearance of wealth instead the building of it. A man can drive a 10-year-old Toyota Camry and still have more money, more peace, and more freedom than the man driving a brand new luxury vehicle. That sounds crazy to many people because we have been trained to believe that visible success is the same thing as real success. We've been conditioned to worship appearances, but appearances do not pay bills. Appearances do not create generational wealth. Appearances do not save families when hard times come. The dangerous thing about this mindset is that it starts early. Children grow up watching who gets praised. The flashy dresser gets attention. The expensive car gets respect. The person who spends money loudly gets treated like somebody important. So many people grow up believing that the purpose of money is to be seen, not protected, not invested, not multiplied, but seen. That mindset becomes a prison, believe it or not. It creates a life where people are constantly trying to prove something to strangers. They buy things they cannot afford to impress people who do not truly care about them. And many times, the same people being impressed today will not even answer the phone when trouble comes tomorrow. But by then, the damage is already done. The debt is real. The pressure is real. The financial chains are real. Our community can't afford to keep confusing image with power. Real power is ownership. Real power is peace of mind. Real power is being able to survive hard times without panic. Real power is not needing applause from people who contribute nothing to your future. I never understood that. The truly wealthy often move differently because they think differently. A person with deep financial security usually does not feel the need to advertise it. They do not wake up trying to prove their value to the world because they already know their value. That is a level of confidence many people never develop. There are people with millions of dollars in the bank who dress simply, drive ordinary vehicles, and live far below their means. Not because they're cheap, but because they understand something that most people miss. Money is not a toy to show off. It is a tool to create freedom. Many people are addicted to external validation. They need the compliments. They need the attention. They need people to look at them and think they are successful. That addiction becomes expensive. The car note grows larger. The credit card debt piles higher. The pressure increases. And before long, they're working harder just to maintain an image. That is one of the greatest traps in modern life. People become servants to appearances. Their image owns them. Every decision becomes connected to maintaining that image. They cannot downgrade because they're afraid of what people will say. They cannot slow down because too many eyes are watching. They become trapped inside a lifestyle they cannot comfortably sustain. Meanwhile, the person who understands money differently is quietly building a future. While others are spending thousands trying to look rich today, that person is investing, saving, learning, and preparing for tomorrow. Their wealth grows in silence while everybody else is distracted by performance. And let us be honest, in many Black communities, there's a tremendous pressure to look successful even when people are struggling. There is pressure to wear the right brands, drive the right car, and appear powerful at all times. Many people feel like they must look successful because society already doubts them. So they overcompensate with material things. But trying to buy respect is a losing game because the respect disappears the moment the money disappears. Most people never stop to ask themselves a simple question. Why do I really want this thing? Is it because it improves my life? Or is it because I want other people to see me with it? That question changes everything. There are people making modest incomes, driving luxury cars they can barely afford. Meanwhile, there are wealthy people driving ordinary cars while their investments quietly grow year after year. The difference is psychological. One person is chasing approval, the other person is chasing freedom. A luxury item is not always the problem. The problem begins when the item becomes connected to self-worth. When people believe they are only valuable if they look successful, they become emotionally controlled by material things. That is dangerous because material things never fully satisfy emotional insecurity. Some people buy expensive things not because they love them, but because they fear being judged without them. That fear keeps entire communities trapped in cycles of financial struggle. Money flows outward instead of inward. Wealth is consumed instead of preserved. And the saddest part is this. Many people who are trying hardest to look rich are actually carrying the deepest insecurities. The showing off is often covering pain, fear, self-doubt, and emotional emptiness. Society teaches people to hide their struggles behind expensive possessions. But possessions cannot heal insecurity. They only temporarily cover it. The strongest people are often the ones who no longer need the performance. They are comfortable driving the older car, comfortable wearing simple clothing, comfortable saying no to wasteful spending, comfortable protecting their future instead of entertaining strangers. That kind of discipline is rare because discipline is not glamorous. Patience is not flashy. Delayed gratification does not get applause on social media. But delayed gratification builds stability, it builds freedom, it builds options, and most importantly, it builds peace. Many people do not realize how expensive ego can become. Ego can make a person spend money they do not have. Ego can force people into lifestyles that create constant stress. Ego can make somebody work 20 years just to maintain an illusion. A person buys a luxury car. Then comes the expensive insurance, the expensive repairs. The pressure to live in a certain neighborhood, the pressure to dress a certain way, the pressure to maintain a lifestyle that matches the image. One decision creates 10 more financial obligations. That is how people become trapped. The truly disciplined person understands that every dollar wasted trying to impress others is a dollar stolen from their future. A dollar invested today can multiply tomorrow, but a dollar spent on image is usually gone forever. Many wealthy people understand the power of invisibility. They do not want unnecessary attention because attention attracts pressure, expectations, envy, and complications. Quiet wealth gives people freedom to move through life without constantly performing for others. And there is another truth many people overlook. Simplicity protects mental peace. When your happiness is not attached to material status, life becomes lighter. You stop chasing approval. You stop comparing yourself to everybody else. You stop making emotional purchases just to feel validated for a moment. That freedom is priceless. Real wealth does not scream. Real wealth does not need applause. Real wealth is built through consistency, discipline, patience, and emotional control. The wealthiest mindset is not focused on looking rich today. It is focused on remaining financially secure tomorrow. That mindset understands that trends come and go, but ownership lasts. Flash fades, stability remains. Some people spend their lives trying to look important. Others spend their lives building something that cannot be taken away easily. One path creates temporary attention. The other path creates lasting security. We need more conversations in our community about ownership, investing, saving, financial literacy, discipline, and generational planning. We need to stop glorifying struggle wrapped in designer labels. We need to stop teaching young people that image matters more than substance. There's nothing wrong with enjoying success. There's nothing wrong with buying nice things when you can truly afford them. But there's a huge difference between enjoying wealth and performing wealth. One comes from security, the other comes from insecurity. And that difference changes lives. The most dangerous expense in the world may not be the car payment, the designer clothes, or the luxury lifestyle. It may be the emotional need to prove yourself to people who do not truly matter. Because once a person becomes addicted to approval, they lose control over their financial decisions. Every purchase becomes emotional. Every decision becomes connected to image. And emotional spending is one of the fastest roads to financial destruction. The people who build lasting wealth understand something powerful. Silence is strength. Patience is strength. Simplicity is strength. The ability to walk into a room without needing validation is strength. A quiet life with peace, savings, ownership, and freedom is worth far more than a loud life built on debt and pressure. And many times, the person driving the ordinary car is not behind at all. They may actually be far ahead, so far ahead that they already understand the trap that others are still chasing. The greatest financial freedom begins the moment you stop needing strangers to believe you are successful. Because once you no longer need to perform wealth, you can finally begin building it for real. Which road are you going to take? How are you going to choose to live your life? You're going to pay now or pay later? Are you going to live below your means and build something that's lasting, that will support you in your older years? Or are you going to party it away, flash it away with money that you're working hard for, but you're not investing into your future? You decide, and let's see each other a few years from now. It may be harsh, but it's real. Do the right thing by yourself. Take care of yourself, because the people you're trying to impress, they'll be the first ones talking to you when the flash is gone. Think about that. LanceScurv out. On to the next one. Much love and respect to you all. Go to LanceScurvX.com and go to the website and register to get the content that we can't put out on social media because it's too radical, too powerful, and most of all, too truthful. Anyway, take care. Much love. Peace.